We made it. We're live. We're a smidge late, but we're getting started. Looks like we got Lashy in the chat. Let's go. Yeah, so let's just jump right into it. Well, I'll do a short introduction. Hello, my name is Gabriel Quinn. I'm a concept artist and biz dev artist and character design stuff. I'm based out of New York City, and just working on some concepts today for fun. Taking more time just to work on stuff for myself. So yeah, we're jumping right in. Cool. So yeah, this guy is a character I worked on last year. I was gonna do a 6-character entry, I think it was 6, or I think it was 8 actually, for an ArtStation challenge. But every time I go to do an ArtStation challenge, like I have a bunch of ideas and I have a ton of fun, and then I reread the brief, and the brief is always like more boring than to me. I don't necessarily find it the most evocative piece of content or media. So yeah, this guy. So I guess I'll talk a little bit about the lore of this guy. I sort of imagined, what instantly came to my mind with the theme of the competition, which was dragons, was it was all about dragons. So instantly, like, dragon fire came up, and like dragon fire is like this archetypal thing. And I love spiritual texts. I love religious writing and stuff. So, kind of looking at that metaphor of fire as both a tool to illuminate and also a tool to destroy. So like this character essentially was like lauded as like the master swordsman of the land, and he went out to go find this hidden power to save the kingdom, but it ended up being the very destruction that he was seeking to protect it from. So all right, awesome. So yeah, Lashy got it immediately. He pulls out the flaming sword from his mouth. So that was like the first thing I drew when I was doing this guy. Let me see if I can actually find the original sketches and stuff, because I could just run off that, to be honest. Let's see. How sick. My girlfriend is watching. She says it looks like it's from like Hercules, from like Disney's Hercules. Yeah, it's definitely kind of Hades adjacent for sure. Yeah, fire as a tool to emote is like a really wonderful archetype that I will never get tired of, for sure. But yeah, let's see. Yeah, I'm sad I was never able to finish this guy in time. Like, I got client work at the same time, and it was like not worth finishing because, strangely enough, ArtStation stopped doing prizes. So like, I don't know why anybody enters. It's like seems to be very little point to me personally. But hey. Okay, so I found the OG sketches. So let's see. Yeah, okay. So this was the original set of drawings I did for this character. So kind of like as he's consumed by flame, or pulling the sword out from his mouth. It's like the flames shape the blade as it's pulled out. It's like white hot blade. So yeah, just getting super hype with this concept. So we're gonna work on this and try to develop it a bit, because it's been a while since I've touched it, and it's good to go back and to kind of like, yeah, just relook at things basically. But yeah, a core part of the narrative was gonna be his sort of conflict with his student, who is supposed to surpass him, and as he falls to darkness, she has to take his place. Just like it writes itself, right? So let's take a look here what we got going on. Yeah, I could open up another PSD for fun, poke around what I worked on last time, re-look through my old sketches. It's always a good time. And yeah, this is a character design stream primarily, so if anyone has any questions about character design, feel free to ask. Feel free to ask anything you like. So yeah, so I had this initial conflict between, these two groups. And it was sort of like chaos versus not order. It was almost like a pseudo kind of nature-y energy. And there was this tree spirit, living on top of this ancient broken tree that was like a divine tree. But then like from that tree sprung this dragon spirit, just like this evil dragon sprung out of like the, corrupted volcano or something. And the archetype for this dragon is I wanted it to have, many eyes, like many eyes, and yet it doesn't understand what it sees. It sees blindly. And then, the kind of good dragon, this little tongue out, which apparently is a theme for dragons that I do. I give him a little mlim, sort of has these ears to listen. So like, even archetypally, there's that energy. And when I was working on the dragon, I kind of like extended the ears back and gave it almost like ears on its tail, sort of. So like, I don't know, sort of this idea that maybe it almost looks like a giant plant. And like if you were seeking wisdom from this dragon or something, you could like whisper into these giant ear plant and maybe the dragon would awaken. But it looks like many other plants, so you don't know if you're actually speaking to the dragon. But the secret is you're always speaking to the dragon or something. I'm just lore dumping. And then I wanted to do a big monkey because you gotta have a big monkey. And the lore behind this monkey is that it was a war monkey for war. And then we got a little tea set. So he's all about tea now. It's giving Uncle Iroh for sure from Avatar. It's definitely very Uncle Iroh core, but it's a big monkey friend who gives wisdom. Yo, monkey is a no-brainer. Exactly. Gotta have a monkey. These days, Munkle Iroh. Yo, what up, James? Oh, we got James in the chat. Let's go. Yeah, Munkle Iroh. Dude, hell yeah. So, yeah, this was like the OG sketch. It was like super rough and gross. But there's this other character. It was almost this goblin guy who has his eyes wrapped, but he's like got all these scrolls and stuff. Like he can see, in a mystical way. Like he's the only one who can read these like strange scrolls. But like how I start these drawings is complete nonsensical scribbles. Like for me, I know exactly what's here, but I can't do it. I don't know. Like the ideas move too fast, so I just have to keep scribbling, and then like going back and finishing. I'm like, but I already have all the lore. Like I've already had my fun. Yeah, the legend is here. So true. We love James. We do. We really do. Yeah, these are some like original kind of really rough scribbles for the tree character. Like the good characters, I wanted the theme to be like many ears. I don't know. It just kind of felt right. So like many ears. And you kind of see the character evolving throughout the story, like from a youthful spirit that like failed in their duty to protect the divine tree or something, kind of become this jaded, older spirit who's like lost an arm and like is using the last of her power to keep things going by any means necessary. But yeah, we started out with this kind of like S-curve energy kind of thing. Ash says, oh, these are all new. Yeah, new to you. I worked on these. Also, welcome Ash to the chat. Yeah, so I I worked on these last year for the Dragon Art Station challenge thing. Yo, I used to grind James's challenges like 400 post sketch or something like that. My friends and I used to do that. I failed. My friends did it. Oh, sick. Yeah, those like OG tryhard videos were great, man. They were great to get the youth cracking, man. I remember Med's 500 heads. That was fun. I remember. But yeah, so we're kind of returning to these ideas a little bit, but we're starting off with the kind of primary catalyst character that I worked on, which is this guy. The Master, the Sword Master. Let's do it again. I want to do it with storyboarding, James says. Dude, hell yeah. Except South Korea has me doing 40 animated shots in 2 months. 2 months challenge. Yeah, dude. You're being outsourced by the outsourcers. Double outsource. Oh, we got Manic in the chat. Welcome, Manic. Manic is a dope artist, dope character artist. Let's go. We got all the homies here. This is tight. Thanks, Manic. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, so we're pushing this character. Yeah, I can kind of see when I was working on this guy, it was kind of a crossover. Like I was starting to learn how to balance my lines with forms a little bit more and kind of like make sure that even my super loose, janky stuff was still readable and the concept was clear. That's one of my favorite services that I provide to clients is that, you know, something super loose and rough, but you know exactly what it is and you understand it. Lashy says, my university used to tell us about James and Evan Amundsen. That's how I started grind art. Dude, let's go. Dude, honestly, same, man. I mean, I remember I was in high school and I was seeing James's videos and I was kind of watching him like really improve through teaching, like really improve in a short amount of time, like in his mid-20s. I think James, you were in your mid-20s when you switched into art, which is like so sick, and you just like absolutely sprinted forward, which was so dope. I get mad when you use my videos though, because I'm an idiot making videos in my apartment. Man. Hey, listen, the precursor to the wise man is the fool, so you're in good company, buddy. Yeah, dude, I remember the OG for me was Psychra, dude, Psychra, which I love Psychra. I had to unlearn a lot of habits I got from Psychra, though, but I still love Psychra. Start making videos to learn, looking to get back into it after this project. That's sick, dude. Honestly, same. I'm thinking, like, the format for the streams I want to do, or the kind of content I want to do on YouTube, at least for this year, is just kind of like just doing a lot of streaming, and then maybe like at the end of every month I kind of like do a concise 10-minute video or 20-minute video, like, hey, what I made on stream this month, and I go through everything I made on stream and, like, you know, the skills I use and what I learned and all that stuff. Like, that's my goal, I think, or that's like an idea I'm playing with. I don't know if that would be useful for people. I hope it would be. We got Psychra is great. Yeah, Psychra is awesome. The OG YouTube artist days. Counter-Strike too. Man, luckily I never got into Counter-Strike. I did get into League though. I played League through high school, which I you know, of course I regret, but yeah. Hell yeah. Also the first master is nuts. Yeah, dude, this character, I love this character. This character is like one of my favorite characters. Ricky JW, hi Gabriel, your friend James brought me here. Yo, let's go Ricky. Yeah, James is the homie. James and I met 2.5 years ago in, which park was it? The one by the New York Public Library. It was so fun. That was a fun day. I played WoW Frozen Throne. Bryant Park, yeah, Bryant Park. Gosh, I just lost my New Yorker badge for forgetting Bryant Park's name. I was alone. Everybody played LoL or Dota 2. Yeah, I played WoW Frozen Throne. Dude, WoW was fun. WoW was really fun. WoW was sick. Guys looking epic. Nice to catch you live. Dude, let's go. Augustine, let's go. Augustine. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm doing my best. Gotta draw Dr. Doom. Let's go. All right, Lashy, dude, enjoy drawing Dr. Doom. I'm gonna start drawing too, actually. We've kind of done our little tour here. Now we're gonna get into it. Gonna get after it. Simon, will you talk about the core principles when constructing this character? Oh, dude, for sure. Yeah. I got you, Simon. Simon Kiss, welcome. Doing great. Let's go. So this guy, okay. So, like, you know, these terms like core principles, all this stuff, like, it doesn't really mean anything out of context. So in this context, if I were to talk about like one of the core principles being like narrative, so like narrative of a character, yeah, let's talk about narrative. So this guy, I mentioned a little bit earlier in the stream that this guy, like his lore is kind of like, he's a noble master of the sword, consumed by chaos, but he sought out chaos because of his own fear of not being enough to save the kingdom. So he went out and sought this ancient power that everybody warned him against, and it kind of like completely consumed his being, and he became a conduit for the fire. So it's kind of like the core theme of this character is noble intention, kind of consumed by fear. So the fear takes him out of his heart, essentially. It takes him out of his his root of his heart, and allows him to be like pushed around by fear and whatever is in waving in the whatever, and it causes him to do something very irrational. And then because of that, like consumed by fear, he's completely vulnerable to being taken advantage of, and he is by this ancient power, this ancient chaos dragon fire of doom, evil dragon fire, bad dragon fire. It's like there's good fire and there's bad fire, right? And I think the ultimate turnaround for this character is that eventually he becomes the good fire. Like he tames the chaos fire and he becomes the good fire. You know, not 100% sure how that happens. I feel like it happens maybe in like a duel with his apprentice or something meaningful, you know. But yeah, no, so that's kind of the core themes of his character. So what are we looking at? Kind of what we're looking at is a noble character, which is why there will still be a lot of blue. So this character's clothing initially is a navy color, like a deep sort of rich navy. But when he is consumed, because there's always kind of fire present, or because there's always kind of warm light around, it's almost going to be like a purple. So it's not quite noble blue. It's like a purple color, which is kind of what you see here, this almost purple. And then the highlights, it is a blue, but it almost reads like kind of like a lavender-esque color, which is what we want. We want like hope of good and beauty, but it almost makes you more sad about the evil that's present in the character. So we're kind of utilizing that stuff right now. So we're going to do just a couple drawings, I guess. Just a couple little drawings. I mean, honestly, we could even just do some like lasso painting stuff. It doesn't even need to be that deep. So we'll copy this over. Do we want to work on the other PSD? Probably. Oh, well, some more lore about this guy is that I tried to push it. So I tried to kind of fix the character, and I sort of did like a version that it wasn't confident. It was like I wanted to draw it sort of like I tried so many things, but I wanted to draw it like line art and then flats and almost make it a little more like comic-y, but I completely lost the energy of the character. I completely lost it by swapping styles, and it was kind of like that was me, honestly, like falling into my fear of like it's not enough, or it's not good enough, or it's not whatever enough, and then wanting to change it because I was like insecure or whatever, right? So let's kind of hop back in here and try and get the essence back. So we have our guy. What we're going to do is we're going to move this down here into the corner, and we're going to borrow this gray for the background that we're going to draw on top of, which is good. Maybe we'll do a little bit of a lighter gray so we have some options, but designing on gray here is going to help us really get the most out of our colors for this particular story. So yeah, let's start with some silhouette and see how we feel. Cool. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Okay. So we're going to try like a few kind of figures essentially. Gosh. Sometimes I think I like smoothing, but really I don't like smoothing. Smoothing is kind of annoying. So yeah, if we're thinking about the kind of journey of the character, Andrew Sung says, interesting how a character represents a theme. Oh, completely, dude. Always. Like, any good story, the characters represent a theme. 100%. 150%. So we're thinking like noble posture of the character, straight back, and like high collar. And I like the design of like, you know, those old knights with like almost the skirts for their armor. I actually like that for fantasy, like male fantasy characters. Like, it's kind of sick. I sort of wish that was still possible for dudes in fashion. I mean, I guess you get it sort of with the kilt, but it's not the same, man. You can't just be dope. I guess you can do whatever you want, but, you know, I guess I just don't have the balls. But yeah, we sort of have this character. It's like a noble character with their hand on their blade. The blade is like a long, beautiful blade. Because this character's so much of his identity is with his sword, the sword really needs to be a prominent part. Like, everything else can be simple, so the sword can be complex. It's got this beautiful design of like the kind of curved hilt, the double spiral curved hilt, right? It's like a confident stance. Cool. Man, I turned the AC off for the streams because it's like loud. So I try and cool my room down before the stream. But today is so hot. It's like bleeding through. Oh. Yeah, working on a Cintiq in a hot room. Everybody's favorite. Looks like the character is from a 3/4 back view on first draft. Yeah, it is kind of a 3/4 back view. Right now we're kind of like trying to sort of understand what's happening with the character. Manic says, what's the temperature? In New York right now, it's not crazy. It's 84, but it's like 50% humidity, which does not help. What tablet are you using? Okay, so right now, believe it or not, I'm using like an old school Cintiq. It's what was around. It hasn't died, and I haven't found a reason to upgrade. So I'm on, I think it's from like 2014. What brush? So true. What Cintiq? What brush? These questions need answers. This brush doesn't really matter right now. Just kind of a loose sketching brush. It's 90 here. Oof. Yeah. Yeah, I'm imagining like beautiful patterns on like the jacket, but right now we're kind of just blocking stuff. Cool. Thanos snaps hard round. Ha ha ha. Man, the hard round days. I think originally I did pretty much most of this with just hard round if I look closely. I'm pretty sure this is all hard round with opacity. Yep. This is a hard round mode drawing. I've got a little bit of texture on this brush just for fun. But again, we're just doing super rough block-ins. We're just getting an idea for the shapes. This kind of stuff for me is good, just to kind of keep me in the zone. Plus, I'm coming in fresh. I have not drawn yet today, so we are going in a little cold. So we're doing some warm-ups as well. This is kind of our warm-up a little bit. Andrew Sung says, classic brushes in Photoshop works every time. It's true, man. It's true. This one, I like the sketch one. I made a sketch one recently. I really like it. Let me see if I can find it. Fun sketch. Yeah, I made this cool brush. I like it a lot. It's pretty similar actually to this. Yeah, we'll just do this. Bro, if you know your stuff, you could use a toothpick as a brush. It's true. You could. Armed with the fundamentals, anything is possible. Sick. Yeah, we've kind of got these shapes, and the power of those shapes is then they can really splay out. When the character's in action, right? Simon says, oh, let's see. when I say Simon says, it's like the game Simon says. Big brain energy. That's why I only use brushes that Leonardo used back in 1450. That's good, Lashy. So true. Simon Kiss says, I love your stuff, honestly. I'm curious, did you go to art school? So I went to art school for illustration. But the stuff I did back in art school was very different. Like, very different. Very, very different. Yeah, if I were to show you some of the stuff I did in art school, it'd be interesting, actually. But I was actually going to go into sequential art and comics. That was my initial path, but COVID-19, baby. Let's go. Shout out to our favorite worldwide pandemic. It forced me back to Bermuda, and I was not able to pursue comics in Bermuda. So at least I didn't feel like I could. So I went on the internet, and I found out that VizDev was like a job for real. And I just went hard, man. I went hard as I possibly could, and I made character design happen. So it's something I feel like I always wanted to do, but never maybe felt like I was allowed. So sort of like being forced to be at home kind of forced me to figure out what I actually want to do. But I did go to art school. No worries, Lashy, dude. You can AFK. That's fine. Aditya Saji says, I just went through your works. Beautiful stuff. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And Ricky says, some people just naturally gifted at drawing. Maybe. I don't really think about that too much these days. I just think about practicing and improving and enjoying the art that I enjoy, man. Fixating so much on talent, gifts, all that stuff, it's just, in my opinion, it's just going to slow you down. For me, it just slows me down. Okay, so we like this stance. He feels noble here, but I almost want him to be upturned. Like maybe he's a little bit like, there's like a weight on his shoulders a little bit. So he has to kind of have the sort of, he's in duty, right? Allison Willow says, yo, what's up, Willow? Good to see you on the stream. Let's go. Andrew Sung also says, for your preference, do you draw the side view and front view on the thumbnail stage? So the reason I'm doing that here is so that it's just like, for me, I can kind of like, posture says everything about the character. And I also want to do blocking for the costume. So you kind of two birds with one stone, right? Even though it's subtle, we have these powerful rhythms, right? This kind of like back sort of posture, very noble, boom, kind of leads into that like S curve. And same here, right? Boom. So those rhythms, boom, boom. That's what we want. And the sword complements it, and the feet are rooted in that energy, right? So we want that energy. And for here, we're balancing kind of that same idea, but instead it's kind of arcing. So it's like noble, shoulders, belt, right? And then this curves down. This is not concave, convex, but those curves mirror too. The arms mirror. So it's like we're trying to understand the posture of the character and like who they are through their posture a little bit. So this is pre-corruption character. This is post-corruption down here. So we can kind of even, we got some new people here. Yeah, so I do have an Instagram. If you go to the description of the video, my link tree is there. That'll take you to anywhere you need to go. HG says, hey, first time being here. Your work looks great. Just joined, so maybe you told us already, but is this character for a particular project? This is just for an independent IP I'm working on. One of the 10 IPs I'm working on. Tale as old as time. So yeah, this was for a competition that I never pushed to the finish because I realized ArtStation has no prizes anymore, man, which is like insane. That's insane. It's just a prestige thing, but it's like, what? No, man. No. Who has the time? Who has the time? Not me, that's for sure. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Cool. Alrighty. You get a badge for effort. Yeah, you get an effort badge. No, it is cool. Here's the thing though, okay? You can have a competition with no prizes, but make the prompt good. Like make the prompt good. Like the last one, I had so many ideas for the last one. The medieval back and forth, but then again, I reread the brief and I was like, what the heck am I looking for? What am I reading right now? It's like it was almost interesting, and then it became like so uninteresting. Lashy says, I'm the CEO of ArtStation. Want a beef, bro? Lashy, there's no way you would be the CEO of ArtStation because you would never be that unjust. I took all the prizes for myself. Ash says, same here. Everyone for the keyframe category did their own thing. You get the badge. Yeah, gosh, the badge. The badge isn't even displayed on your profile. You like have to dig into someone's profile to see if they have a badge. It's not even visible. It's like hilarious. ArtStation contains tutorials, but you need to create an account to gain access. Yeah, ArtStation's fine. ArtStation's cool. It's great. But just like the challenges, man. Like, come on, the challenges. All right, I'll drop my Instagram in the chat for anybody who doesn't have it. I'll drop it in. I'm working to bring it up to date more. Boom, baby. My father is Elon Musk and my uncle is Steve Jobs. Damn. I see you've been getting your advice from entrepreneur. What was the competition again? So it was just for an ArtStation competition. I think it was called like Dragons Rising. The theme was like dragons and stuff, and like, so for me, to go back to the original thumbnail of the concept I did, like the really rough concept, I kind of had this idea of this like dueling worlds of like the chaos of like Dragonfire, the evil chaos of Dragonfire, and like preserving the good of the world essentially. And I was kind of working out the characters. There's 8 characters of the challenge, so on the kind of evil side, sort of, not evil, but the kind of explosive, chaotic, fiery, intense, obsessive side, we had like the many-eyed dragon, with many eyes, but he cannot see the world for what it really is. And then, we have the swordsman corrupted by fire. We have his student, who is the last chance to save the kingdom from her master, who's been corrupted. And then we have like a flying guy. I think I was going to figure that out maybe. And this, keeper of scrolls, who has all the forbidden knowledge. He was the one who kind of led the guy to the evil fire. And on the good side, we have the good dragon, who has many ears to listen. And we have the good tree nymph, who's protecting the land, or trying to protect the land, but kind of like failed in their mission. And then we got a monkey, because good monkey. And I kind of pushed some of those ideas a little bit. So like the original sketch was much more energetic, I think. Like it was just powerful, like swing, 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 and then swing, 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 swing. It felt pretty good. So if I were to redo this illustration, it would be with a lot more of this energy again. Let's see. Your drawings are sick with it and nasty. Thanks, Rick. Yeah, I appreciate that. Ash says they host a new brief every year. Yeah, so ArtStation does a new competition every year. And they just, I don't know who is writing these briefs. Like, listen, I don't want to judge. I'm not going to judge. But I feel, it always feels like an afterthought. And it always feels like no one thought about it for more than like 5 minutes. It kind of feels like, it kind of felt like it was like, oh, that would be cool. Yeah, and then we could do this and that, and that's fun, and this is fun. But it's like, when you actually think about the variety, like there were only a few ideas you could really do with the latest one, the medieval back and forth one. But I don't want to, harp on about it or be judgmental or anything like that. Like, people are out here doing their best, man. But I will say that the recent ArtStation Challenge brief did not inspire like any of my friends to participate. So I don't know, man. If you're gonna have a competition with no prizes, like you gotta make it fun. You gotta make it really fun and interesting and like a unique challenge. Andrew says, so the dragons played a huge role in your story. It reminds me of How to Train Your Dragon movie. Oh yeah, How to Train Your Dragon. Oh man. Yeah, I like the part with the swing, 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 swing. Yeah, exactly. Me too. I love the swing, swing, swing. I don't know if you guys have ever seen a storyboard or an animatic by Gendy Tartakovsky, but like, he's the guy behind Samurai Jack, Primal, like, the classics. And he, the best Star Wars content ever, the 2003 Star Wars The Clone Wars. And his animatics are always like, he does the Foley, which is like all the sound effects and stuff. So he'll have his storyboards and he'll be like, like he'll do like all the sound effects. And like, it's just great. It's just hype. But yeah, so this is kind of the balance. This sort of like the world of like growth and preserving is like being met with the all-consuming fire of chaos and fear, right? It's like just all-consuming. Because like, fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, and hate leads to the dark side. So heard it here first, folks. I also drew Big Monkey. So we went from this derpy thing to Big Monkey, which I actually really like this drawing of Big Monkey. So I'll probably finish that too, maybe. Let's see. We got more stuff. Simon says, if you could learn from anybody from history, who would it be? That's a great question. Anybody in history? Oh yeah, this was the good dragon. I showed it earlier as well. I don't want to repeat myself too much, but the theme of the good people was many ears. So I put ears on the tail and gave the good dragon many ears and many eyes, but they were shut. That's a whole thing. Oh yeah, I started doing this one, like the many eyes. Yeah. This was going to be the eyes along the body, and so it's going to be cool. So let's keep working at this. Let's keep getting these poses down. Anyone in history? Gosh. Okay. What comes to mind immediately, this is very recent though, but I don't know if you know the comic artist Sergio Topi, but he's an Italian comic artist and just an absolute master. Topi spelled Toppi. And my goodness. I would love to get in that guy's brain. For real. But yeah. Anyone else? You know, actually, maybe Toulouse-Lautrec, who is a brilliant painter, and kind of grew up in a brothel and had dwarfism, I believe, and just made the most incredible paintings. And I love Toulouse so much. I would love to talk to that guy. That'd be amazing. Or Klimt. Maybe Klimt. Yeah. No, Klimt. 100% Klimt, yeah. I would want to be a student of Klimt. If I could be a student of any artist throughout history, it would be Gustav Klimt. 100%. Andrew says, interesting that Tartakovsky does the Foley sound for his animatics. Speaking of Tartakovsky, he is currently directing Unicorn Warrior and Eternal. Oh, interesting. I'm not 100%. Oh, I did see that. Man, he just elevates every project he works on, truly. He's incredible. Gendy's a good one. So let's do our guy, you know, he's like clutching his throat as he's hunched over because the fire is like going inside him, right? Almost like a parasite. Or how would it be that he gets corrupted by the fire? Maybe he looks into the flame for too long and it almost starts as like a cough and he starts coughing fire and it comes from within him. Maybe the potential for like chaos to consume you is latent in anyone, but him especially because he's such a trained warrior, such a in-tuned spiritual guy. So maybe it's like a cough. So like this is instead he's clutching his throat, you know, just reeling back, clutching his throat. And his legs are splayed. And his little skirt cape thing is like, you know, down, giving a nice backdrop, a dark backdrop. He's like bent knees maybe. And then out of that, he's like just spitting fire. And it's like, wow. You get like a little spark. Shwa. And then like shwa. But then it's like it hits the ground. It like is totally like all consuming. All around him too. Goes behind him and everything. Wow. Simon says, I guess they would feel weird of modern character animations and designs. I'm not 100% sure what you mean by that. They would feel weird. I'll give it a think. But yeah, this character. Maybe it's just dripping. Like magma's dripping. Bro, if Simon said you have to do it. Exactly. Those are the rules. Yeah, exactly. Modern animation. Yeah, maybe it makes more sense that like this his yeah, like his maybe in the moment he realizes he's being consumed and right before he's taken over, maybe he tries to plunge his own sword like through himself, like a seppuku vibe or something, and like that's why the sword like comes out of his mouth or something. I don't know. Is that too dark? Maybe. Andrew says, if this character gets animated, I can imagine him thrashing around, knocking into walls before the final stage of transformation. Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. So maybe it starts with like this like kind of coughing thing and he's reeling, right? And this is him like standing. How to make moving characters. Like motion? Or like characters that aren't just static? Honestly, okay. This is some lore. I'm going to drop some lore on you. So for me, before I was an artist, or I've been an artist my whole life, really. I've been drawing forever. But for a long time, I was actually an actor. I was just mostly an actor, and I just mostly did acting and performance. And having that background helped me so much to expedite my character design career. Like, because acting is so much of it. Because the character isn't just a drawing. It's like, it is a character. That's why it's character design, not character drawing. If you're a character illustrator, you illustrate characters. Michael! We got Michael in the chat. Let's go. We love Michael. Michael's the homie. Dude, Michael's the best. Michael Ralph, mentored me for months and helped me work through so much and improve so much, and is a true friend. That's what I'll say about Michael. Let's drop Michael's art in the chat. Michael, let's go. Boom. Michael Ralph, baby. Sick nasty animator, sick nasty painter, sick nasty dude. So he's clutching his throat and he's just like spitting out. Then he wouldn't have his bent knees they'd be like straight knees, straight legs, I think. Yeah, so it'd be a combination of the hunched over, like magma spilling out of his mouth, and then this absolute like werewolf howl of like a exclamation. Michael said, thanks, Gabriel. You're the best. Happy to see your streams so frequently. Really cool to hear your thoughts and process as you're working. Let's go. Let's go, dude. Honestly, the streams have been helping me understand my process more because so much of it is just, I just do it. I don't really verbalize it, but verbalizing it really helps. But yeah, so with this character, I think a big theme is like spilling out and like excess. Like always excess, right? So like I'm imagining he's reeled back from his vomit, and the magma is like spilling out of him as it turns into just like absolute like blazing fire. But that initial line, we want it to be like following up. So it's sort of like with a drawing like this, you're sort of getting I don't know what the opposite of follow through is, or anticipation for an animation principle, but essentially you're like describing what is happening or what has happened and what is continuing to happen. All right, we got some questions. App name. If you mean the software, this is just Adobe Photoshop. Willow asks, how do you go about the process of getting a mentor / getting mentored by an artist? Well, okay, that's a good question. I think I've been informally mentored by many people. Honestly, I feel like it's a combination of really connecting with someone and like it being mutually beneficial. So when I say mutually beneficial, like it is beneficial to teach. It's a good thing to do. Like I took a student last year and it was hugely beneficial. And they got a lot out of it. I got a lot out of it. And so actually it was this year, earlier in the, no. It was last year and a little bit this year, but not so much. But he improved a lot, which was great to see. So it's kind of like, yeah, when that relationship feels natural, where it's like they're getting a lot through learning, you're getting a lot through teaching, like that's beautiful and it feels very natural. Honestly, I feel like it is good to be prepared and definitely like want to compensate someone who's mentoring you, because not only does it improve your own investment in your mind, but you're also like giving back to someone you really care about. And the thing is that what you get out of mentoring is usually always more than what you put in. Like, you know, yeah, when I've paid for mentorships, it's been unbelievably worth it for me. Yeah, so that's been fantastic. But getting a mentor, it's got to meet a lot of people, man. Meet a lot of people, reach out to a lot of artists you like, and just kind of see if there's, you know, creative chemistry and stuff, I think. Simon says, just casually seeing all the cool art people I've been following on Instagram for months here. Cool. Nice. Yeah, all artists know each other, man. Not really, but you know. Michael says, I wonder if keyframe would be an appropriate animation in this instance, appropriate animation term. Yeah, yeah, that's true. It is very keyframe. Very, very keyframe. It's true. But yeah, showing the drag of this magma. Wow. I'm imagining it's like both like a intense like feeling of like helplessness and like rage and almost sorrow of this character as he's being consumed, like knowing that he's becoming what he was trying to stop for so long. Right? So we have this like down, like, you know, like he looked and it's almost like corrupted him, right? He like looked into the fire for too long and it like corrupted him and it totally consumed his being. Maybe he's like trying to defend himself, so he's like pulling his sword out here. That would add to the energy a little bit, I think. So it's like coming out of the sheath. Shing. And then somehow it's like he like, how does he lose his sword? Does his sword just melt in his hand? Huh. I wonder. Andrew says, well, anticipation would be winding up before the action, and follow through would be the rest after completing the. Yeah, so it's like whatever the inverse of anticipation is, it's kind of like the sort of reeling back and like seeing that spray or that motion. It's like you understand the motion he just did. So it's like it's I guess it's just implying or it's just a drawing. But yeah, it is a keyframe. No, Michael's right. Michael's right. We got Dylan Draw says, hey Gabriel, love your designs. Hey, thanks man, I really appreciate that. And Ricky says, what are your thoughts on some of the AI tools like Midjourney? I messed around with Midjourney a ton when it went into, like right before it went into open beta. I got a beta key and like I messed around with Midjourney for ages, and it's cool. It's definitely cool. But it didn't really, I don't know, man. It's kind of like, I guess I'm not super attached to any particular kind of like art career. So I don't know. I'm curious to see how things go. I think, yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, the potential for AI, everyone says this. Everyone says the same thing. It's like, well, I really like the potential. It could be cool, but it needs to be ethical. It needs to be blah, blah, blah. And like everything like that. Like, totally, man. Like, scraping's not cool. Using data commercially like that is not cool. But, man, it's like there's a lot AI can do for us. And to put a stamp of evil on it immediately, I think is unwise, but I think it is even more unwise to dive in without consideration. And I don't think there's a lot of consideration being done. So yeah. Beep boop bop. My thoughts. So it's so, okay, for this character, right, we have focal points. So we've got like the beautiful designed kind of robe he's wearing, because he's got this title, right? He's like the master swordsman of the whole kingdom. He's like got this title, right? So he's got like a seat at the table for politics, even though he's not a politician, because, you know, being the master of the sword for your region is so illustrious, a beautiful title, right? There's so much respect for it. So he's got this beautiful thing right around his head. So his head is framed by this illustrious kind of design. And then the sword itself is the other key piece of costume for him, key element. And I'm thinking at the very bottom there would be some filigree trim as well that would match the top. But other than that, I wouldn't get too busy. I would keep this pretty simple. So the sword, I'm imagining there's a lot of gold maybe initially on his sword. So it's kind of that beautiful blue and gold, royal blue and gold combination. Then he loses his sword, and then it becomes like a black and red combination with a little bit of like blue highlight and like lavender highlight. Oh, we got a suggestion. We got Andrew in the chat says, or perhaps when committing seppuku, the fire spread through the sword, becoming a part of the warrior's corruption. Yeah, like there's something there, man. There's something about him trying to defend himself with the sword, but it can do nothing. It's sort of like he became a master of the sword, but he's powerless against this corrupting fire, right? So it's like a part of him was so prepared, and yet he was not prepared at all. So maybe he takes his sword out and he's like flailing around or something. Like there's something there. Did the sword corrupt him, or did he corrupt himself? Okay, we got Rob in the chat. Let's go. Welcome back to the stream, buddy. Haven't seen you in a minute. It's good to see you. Yeah, it's kind of like the sword is just fine. I feel like the sword is actually an heirloom kind of vibe. You know what I mean? And again, like a sign of nobility. That's definitely a key prop for sure, is the sword. So yeah, I'm imagining or, you know, what's interesting is that like maybe he unsheaths his sword and he like flails around the sword ends up, he loses the sword somehow in like his whatever fury before he's totally taken over. And then once he's taken over, the sword like or maybe in the final moment where he's like about to be corrupted, he drops the sword and then he kind of goes into his alter ego, which is kind of what we see, where he kind of becomes evil, and he leaves the sword behind. He doesn't need it. And then when he fights, like he spits the flaming sword of chaos out of his maw, his open maw, you know, like how we have in the drawing here, just like wow, such a hype design. And then the sword gets found by his apprentice, and his apprentice takes up the sword to fight him, and that's what stops. So it's kind of like, I like that a little bit more. The seppuku thing was too much, maybe, I think, for this narrative, because once you add that element to a character, you can't take it out. Like, that implies so much about them, and those aren't implications I really want for this guy. We got Iris. What's up, Iris? Yeah, I'm working on this guy again. Iris knows this character very well. Iris is another dope artist. Also, I was mentored by Iris, which was sick. That helped me so much. My God. Let's put Iris's stuff in the chat. We love Iris. Yeah, if you have the chance to take Iris's mentorship or any of her classes or workshops, definitely jump on that opportunity. Bah, right? Just like consuming fire. Wow. Just spilling out, man. Absolutely spilling out. Cool. Cool. So he's pulling his sword out, he's reeling, all of that stuff, and then we kind of have maybe like the final pose for him that we'll do, which is kind of like, maybe he's reaching out with his hand. Or like, what's he doing with his hand? Maybe it's just kind of curled up. Or like in like a claw grip. Right? Yeah. Wah. Wahahaha. Cool. So this is a little quick midway reminder. If you're enjoying the stream and you're watching live, definitely hit that like button. If you want to keep watching these streams, you can subscribe as well. And if you want to catch them or make sure you see them, you can turn on notifications if you like. And if you're watching this back as a recording, sorry for repeating myself so many times, but glad you're here. You can also like the video. You can also subscribe if you want. You're 100% allowed. And yeah, we'll just keep jamming out, man. We'll just keep jamming out, making drawings. It's what we love to do. It's what we're doing, you know? So heck yeah. Thanks for being here in real time or in the future time where you're watching it and I'm doing something else. For all you know, I'm doing something completely different. I'm like washing dishes or like, drawing other stuff maybe. You don't know. We got a question from Adithya. Just curious, do you make the explorations before fixing on a character, especially when it's for a character design portfolio? Explorations, yeah. Oh, man. I mean, yes, for sure. Sometimes you just kind of like know the character's good. Yeah, exactly, Iris. Hit that freaking like button, guys. What's up, YouTube? But yeah, so I do make exploration. Like I do make explorations for sure. Not as many as you think, but yeah. Dylan Draw says, "Love your energy, man. Wash those dishes. Let's go. Hell yeah." We wash dishes. We're boys who wash dishes, okay? And we wash them good. We put our full effort into washing those dishes, baby. Scrub-a-dub-dub. Yeah, we allow no food particles to remain on our kitchenware. Not now, not ever. I kind of want the opportunity, or at some point, like the opportunity for like a spark or something. Right? Maybe we do like a sparky thing or something at some point. But the magma energy is pretty bold, pretty strong energy. So then the last thing we do, so I'll bring this drawing over. So we just have it right next to it for ref. Boop. The character is now still powerful, but there's like a slight change in posture. It's like a sunken posture, a sullen posture. But it's also that the predator look, you know, like this is a proven thing. Like if someone looks at you like this, it's like they're a predator. If someone looks at you like this, it's like they're like curious or inquisitive or whatever. But like this is the predator look, for sure. Here, let me make sure you understand. I'm a pret. No, I'm not gonna say it on stream. Oh man, but it's like what tigers do, right? They're like, I will eat you. That's what they do. But then like the little domesticated cats, they come up to you looking like this. Very different energy. So we want to use that in our character stuff. I will consume you. Yeah, exactly. It's scary. So that's also what like psychopaths do. Psychopaths do that stuff. This is funny. Chat's funny. Gabriel full screen saying I will consume you. Yeah. Yes. Yes. The fire will consume you, but not before I. Okay. Let's keep drawing. I can't tell you what my girlfriend just texted me, but it was really funny. Oh man. Glad you guys, somebody clip it. Don't clip it, please. Villains like Shredder or helmet villains would do the tiger face expression. Yeah, exactly. The helmet does a lot. So like framing of the eye, it like creates the shape of the eye and stuff. 1 second away from being caught, like, so funny. Yeah, exactly. Helmet villains are always good for that reason. Oh man, I love my girlfriend. She's the best. She's cool. Okay, so we've got this kind of like villain predator gaze vibe to the character now. And I'm thinking they've got almost like, I don't know, like a kind of like an I'm trying to figure out if they've got like the kind of swaggery sort of stance, or if it's like totally kind of just like straight. I think it's more straight. I was going to raise this up a little bit. Also get to flip just in case we made any major mistakes. This is a little right side biasy, just a little bit. It's okay, we're allowed. Alrighty. Let's see what else we got going on. Cool. Cool. So, okay, we have our different kind of modes of expression. We've got the kind of basic standing guy, and then we've got the totally in motion, consumed, and then we're doing the evil version of the character, right? So we'll do a 3/4, and then maybe we'll do a head-on too, and we'll do a back view. We'll use this as an opportunity to do the back view because the costume doesn't change for the back view. And there's not much you have to change, actually. So, like, proportion-wise. Oh, yeah. Also, this isn't like an education stream. It's like kind of like a more of a demo stream, or I'm just having fun, to be honest. But anyone can ask any question they want, and I will answer the best of my ability. Like any question, really. I'll do my best. I'm not an authority, but I love art. So, opinion from somebody who loves art. Sick. Rob says, gotta head out, but gonna leave the stream up for the statistics. You know, you're a true homie for that. I really appreciate that. Yeah, anybody who wants to like, leave the stream on muted or something, or like go back and watch the playlist of all the VODs if they just want to leave that on muted somewhere, so I can get enough watch hours to monetize my channel, that would be sick. Only if you feel like it, though. No pressure. Or hey, if you want a parasocial relationship, you can just watch all of my VODs and just like, know me better than I know you. And then when we meet in person, I'll just be like super nice because I'll understand that you kind of know everything about me a little bit. So there you go. So for the back view, I'm imagining like maybe we do PewDiePie vibes. Yeah, right. Yeah, I heard Felix is really nice to his fans in person if they're like chill. All right, I'm kind of losing the essence here. Let's try and find it again. I'm trying to figure out if his head is like up or down. Manic asks, why not the question I asked, style consistency, since you're growing into it as well? What are the best practices that you would follow to recommend following? Okay, or recommend following. For consistency of style. I mean, style. Gosh, talking about style. It's a good question, first of all. So, I mean, like, we know style is something that you arrive at after a lot of repetition, a lot of practice, a lot of ingesting influences, a lot of discovery, and style is also an evolution. If you look at like early paintings by, J.C. Leyendecker versus the latter paintings, at first you can see them figuring out their iconic style, and towards the end, you see them really perfecting that style. Let's see if we can pull up an example. Yeah, let's see. So early on, I'm trusting this is early on. Or actually, I don't know. But I think when talking about style, someone like J.C. Leyendecker immediately comes to mind. And rightly so. I don't know if Google Images is going to do me justice here. I don't think so. Yeah, all right. We'll spare examples for now. But, if you know their work, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, so like making many images and explorations on one project, says Iris. That's true. That is a good way to arrive at a style. It's also, you got to figure out, do you want like a completely holistic, homogenistic style? Like, do you want sameness across the board? Because there is power to consistency, but there is also power in diversity as well. So it's good to figure out and discover like what you want, especially career-wise. Like if you're locked in with a style, then you qualify for a particular kind of job on particular kinds of jobs. Like, if your style is a little more open, then you have some leeway. I think a great example of that kind of range is one artist I love on ArtStation. Let's go find him and look at his work. Andreas Metajosius, I believe his name is. He's really cool artist. I'm a massive fan of his work. Yeah, I would love to train under this guy or work with this guy in the future if possible. That'd be amazing. But yeah, so let's look at his work really quick. So like Andreas did some work for Starfall, and the work that he did for Starfall was like pretty darn stylized. Like what's a good example? Like this kind of stuff. And again, this is work by Andreas Metajosius, who's pretty epic. Actually, we'll just pull up his ArtStation right now. We'll do that so that we don't leave any information out. Is there anything here that could dox me in theory? No. Looks like we're good. Cool. But yeah, so like Andreas's work is really spectacular in my opinion. This was some work that he did on Starfall, pretty darn stylized, but like very appealing, strong appeal. Just great work in my opinion. Yeah, really great work. This is, even like something like this is just absolutely fantastic. Like alligator skin belt hang, like that's just so sick, done in such a simple way. And then if you look at his other project, like his World War Zero project, that is like such a cool IP, number one. But number two, like way more grounded, way more polished. Same artist, not completely different style, but very similar style. Like look at this stuff, man. It's just incredible. It's really good. Very, very well thought out ideas. Yeah. So like that's an example of range of style. And then he has his other work too, which like this kind of almost in between of the two, where it's grounded, but it has like strong stylized fantasy elements, but it's almost a little bit more painted. So that's kind of like the scale, the spectrum, right? But yeah, so like that kind of work or that kind of range, I aspire to have that kind of range. That's the kind of range that I would say is good for style. And I think the way to do that is to figure out what you like to design, like how you design. Xavier Urrutia has a very flexible art style. Sick. I will make a note of that. But yeah, so I mean, even for me, like I like to still have some range with my work. I'm trying to bleed a little bit more into realism, or like imaginative realism kind of vibe, or at least be able to command a little bit more skills of realism. But for the work that I do, like I love doing bold, designed stuff. All right, well, let's take a look. Let's do a little tour of me now. Why not? Why not use myself as an example? So like the more recent work I've done and uploaded has been like stylized, but a little bit grounded, a little bit more grounded with the lighting, a little bit more grounded with the ideas and the concepts with these characters and stuff. Yeah, like this guy, like, you know, the costuming and stuff is pretty clear, but, you know, and the lighting's pretty basic, but, you know, it's kind of like a character in context. We're understanding. It's the rough sketch. But then kind of going a little bit older, you can see like much more stylized approach here, like way more stylized. And this other character too. I mean, this one's not bad, but again, yeah, pretty darn stylized guy. But then, you know, prior to that, like I used to do a lot of stuff like this, like illustration, where it was just kind of line, flat color kind of vibe for sure. And I used to love doing stuff like that all the time, like absolutely love. This kind of thing too, where it was very, very basic, loose, just fun. Yeah. But, you know, can also do some like lasso paint stuff too. Some fun Spider-Verse fan art. But yeah, breadth of style. And then, you know, here's a side of my work that if you scroll far enough, you'll see, but, you know, I don't think many people do, but like, you know, I used to do a ton of stuff like this. So like, these are my goblin characters, and I worked on these for the entirety of Inktober. I did one a day of these guys and like their adventures and what they did. And like something like this, actually, I was working on these guys when I first met James, modern day James, actually, which was sick. We were talking about it. He was giving me like branding pointers and stuff. Can you share the link? Oh, you got it. Cool. Ricky says, gotta go. Amazing stream. Your work is sick with it. Hope to catch your future streams. Thank you so much, Ricky, man. I hope to see you next time for sure. 100% for sure. Thanks for dropping in. But yeah, like this stuff is like, I loved working on these guys. I really loved it. And I kind of want to come back to these kind of characters and stuff. But like in terms of training story and everything, this was great for that. Little story moments, little drawings and stuff. It was just a lot of fun, man. Gosh, this is such a time capsule for me. This one was great. This one, someone poached this and turned it into a meme in like a foreign language. I think it was French or something. And it was like, I mean, the joke here is like, you know, that was perfectly said, Dragon of Infinite Knowledge, but how do I say it in my own words? And then the meme was like, you know, when you cite from Wikipedia or whatever. And it's just like, just funny. But yeah, like, you know, the idea here is it's a funny idea, you know? It's like this little goblin guy getting advice from the Dragon of Infinite Knowledge, but doesn't quite know how to put it in his own words. But yeah, man. And then kind of doing even more kind of like an older animation-y style. This was some anthropomorphic characters I did a while ago, which was fun. But yeah, this guy Roderick is my favorite, I think, out of these guys. This was cool. This was this is for portfolio stuff for a while ago, but some of the better work I've done, I think. But yeah, I also do very inky stuff too. I love doing really inky stuff, strange inky stuff. It's fun. Character stuff. This is a fun concept. Got to do more stuff like this, man. I forget how much fun it is. So, but yeah, man. So like style, breadth of style, I'm still developing my style. I don't know if I'll ever stop developing my style. But right now you can tell my focus here. Like my focus is like character design and animation. That's my focus, and games too. But like character design and animation and games. That's kind of where I'm at right now. That's where I'm tuning in a little bit, you know, exploring painting a little bit. We're getting there. Didn't know I was going to be delving into this much theory discussion. We got Andrew says, I'm more semi-realistic inspired by Glenn Murakami, creator of Teen Titans. That's sick. That's good. Yeah, man. That's fire. And Aditya says, I really love those line art heavy stuff. Very unique. I love line art heavy stuff, man. Like, for sure. Maybe that's the approach we'll take with these little thumbnails. We'll make them very line art heavy so that they're very descriptive. Maybe that's what we'll do here before we end for today. I don't have a huge time limit today, so I can stream for a little bit longer. Yesterday I was a little bit more crunched, or Tuesday I was a little bit more crunched. So maybe we'll get some more stuff going. Okay, so now I have some fresh eyes. I kind of see maybe what's wrong with this guy, the back view. We got to make it a little bit more 3/4. And we need it to have an energy about it. Like a bold energy of him like holding the sword, maybe to the side. Andrew says, the dragon with 3 eyes reminds me of the core from Disney's show called Amphibia. I never saw Amphibia. I heard some good stuff about it, but I never saw Amphibia, unfortunately. Ash says, I'm still catering to live action stylistically. Hey, man, I mean, it's wherever you want to work, right? It's whatever you want to work in, wherever you want to work. And Ash has been killing it. Ash has been doing some great keyframes. Let's drop Ash's link in the chat. Yeah, I've known Ash all through her journey into keyframe for feature. Fantastic work. Oh my gosh, especially the more recent stuff. What the heck? This is so good. I haven't seen this one. Look at this. This is really good. Good job, Ash. Gonna like. This is fire. Sick. Look at that. Boom. Keyframe for feature. Awesome. Look at Ash. There she is. Killing it. Absolutely killing it. Dope portrait. Fire. Fire. Dope. Awesome. I love all the drawings you do of Remy Malik. It's so funny. But yeah, you go, Ash. That's sick. Boom, baby. Baby. Oh, sick for the Art Station Challenge. That's dope. That's dope. That's dope. Yeah, so we'll do it like he's holding the sword here. We'll maybe angle his head a little bit. Okay, we'll go a little bit more splayed, and we'll give him the flaming sword here. So we got 3/4 back view with the flaming sword, and I think we've angled him like in a good way. Here. Nice. Yeah, gotta shout out the homies when the homies work is fire. You gotta. And this one he's kind of angling it towards us, which I always love that angle when it's like almost like turned back in, like they're kind of like turning the sword back in, you know? I kind of want to do something like that a little bit. His first pant is kind of like coming over, and the other one is kind of going behind a little bit. It's not super working with this angle. So instead, we'll do the leg crossover, which is fine. You can do a leg crossover. But we'll have the sword on the outside. Something about this angle's not working. HE says, love the line art heavy work, especially how you handle color with little goblin pieces. Hey, thanks. I really appreciate that. Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. I really kind of miss the goblin stuff. The only thing I never really considered with the goblin stuff is value control for compositional things. Like that's one thing that I want to get better at is like value control. So that's my mission the next time I approach the goblins. We'll see. I have this itching feeling in the back of my mind that like I'll end up like that'll end up being like my career, like just drawing little goblin children's books or something, which I'm totally open to. Totally open to. Let's make sure everything's running smooth here. Cool. Yeah, it looks like it's good. Man, streaming is fun. This is fun. I hope you guys are having as much fun as me. This is dope. All right, and I'm on for another, let's see, what time is it? Let's see what time it is. Okay, so I have it scheduled for another 20-ish minutes, but I think I'll go over a little bit. We definitely did some detours for sure, but we have the, noble phase. And then we also have, the corruption. And then we have consumed. Consumed by fire. Baptized in the flame of chaos, he was reborn. A conduit of evil. A terror of the world he swore to protect. It writes itself. So the head-on one, I mean, we could almost even have this even more of a turn. And it could be like he's holding, yeah, there it is. He's holding it back. Holding the blade. It's curving around him. There we go. That feels right. And the blade itself is like dripping. Or something, right? It's like a blade of magma. So I feel like you'd be like kind of dripping off the blade a little bit, or like steam or fire is like rising up or something kind of dope. What was better? Let's look at how we had it before. Okay, we lost a little bit of the energy. There we go. Sick. Sick. All right. Lashley says, yo, I finished sketching. I leave to go shopping. Dude, enjoy. Dude, yeah, send me your sketch, man. 100%. Or if you guys do anything like that you like or whatever, like sketching along or something, like feel free to tag me if you post anything and be like, yo, did this well. It's on the stream or whatever. I'll drop it on my story or whatever. Like that'd be sick. Let's see what Lashy did. I won't show without his permission. Oh, nice. Let's go. I like the pose that you did for Dr. Doom. That's fire. That's fire. Continued with the... Yeah, that's sick, dude. These are sick. But that pose is sick for the Doom, baby. I can if you want. Yeah, let's show what Lashy did. People are drawing along. It's fun. So Lashy did this sick drawing of Dr. Doom. That's an energetic sketch for sure. That's great. Yeah, that's great, man. Hell yeah. I like the cape movement. I like the posture, the angle. I like that he's looking up. Powerful pose. Powerful. Grind more anatomy. Buddy, you and me both. I might do like one day a week, like as like an anatomy workout stream or something, because I do need to grind anatomy. Like I need to grind anatomy. So I feel like him standing, he's like looming, or like, again, we want him to feel kind of like a predator a little bit. Hell yeah. Sick. Oh, Ash is blendering. Let's go. Shout out to Blender. Shout out to Mr. Blender. Aditya said Discord ? Okay, so I don't have an official Discord for like myself or the stream or anything like that. Like I don't have anything like that yet. I'm considering making a Discord. I don't know though. I don't know. Maybe, dude. I just don't want to. I don't want to like moderate or like deal with like anything. I don't want to deal with anything. I don't trust people on the internet anymore. I moderate for the Lightbox server, and it's just like so much chaos, man. It's so much. I mean, it is a huge server, but there's so much chaos. But yeah, like I might make one for the stream, maybe. We'll see. We'll see what goes on. I'd have to have a pretty extensive rules page. I have friends who run Discords, and it's like so much work, man. So much work. So we'll see. But it would be cool. It would be cool to connect though with people who enjoy the stream more. Like that would be sick. But yeah. We'll see what goes on. Cool. All right, let's figure out this facing pose. We need it to be dynamic with energy. Maybe it's like a looking up pose, and there's just like steam rising off of his like body and his like open mouth a little bit or something. And it's like he's like totally possessed. You can't even like really see. You know when characters are like possessed or something, like an anime or like a show or something, and they're kind of just like hunched over backwards, but they have agency? It's kind of what we're going for here. Zigzag. Alrighty. Let's get the sword out. He's like standing. Nah, we want him to be more menacing. Maybe we'll make him more like... Yeah, some like, yeah, there we go. Yeah, we have the predator look. He's like kind of hunched over, and he's in like a wide stance, right? Like he's coming for you. Or something. Still kind of hard to find the facing pose. We want to make sure the energy is right and the character is right. Maybe it's literally that he's just a bit more angled up towards the top. Also, the ends of his cape are probably kind of tattered because they're kind of licked by the flames, you know, a little bit. Give him a bit more of an evil feel here and there. The edge of his raggedy robe. His robe that was kind of dishonored, you know? Decrepit robe. Oh, man. Sorry, I need a break soon. Good lord. I'm running out of gas. I can feel it. Sick. Yeah, Manic says you should make a very private server, if any. Yeah, it would be very private. All right. Well, I don't know. Maybe. Lashy's is really cool. Progress so far. Take her, gotta go, dude. All the best, Lashy. The realist. Yeah, let's do him ominously, like, looking at you from a place of power. He's got the sword. He's kind of gripping it sort of in this underhanded way. And we want this kind of turn on the body a little bit. We're doing this super rough. This is super messy, but we're going for it. Then the cool thing here is that the sword, again, it's like dripping magma, so it could literally be like spilling down onto the floor. just oozing flame and like magma and stuff, you know. The steam could be rising, the smoke could be rising. It's pretty iconic in and of itself. Oh, Jay's here. Jay says, oh, thanks, Manic, for leaving the stream open. Appreciate it. Jay says, hello, baby darling Gabriel. Hope you're doing well. I am doing well, man. Thanks for asking. How's the stream going? It's good. I'm almost at 2 hours, so I'm feeling it. The rare time I don't catch you at gym. So true, dude. So true. Oh, man. Epic. But yeah, stream's good, dude. I'm having a ton of fun. We're working on an older character that I was developing in the past for a competition and didn't enter it because the prompt kind of ended up being a little disappointing. So I don't want to let the concept just sit. It was this concept, which I love. It's this sick chaos dude consumed by fire. So we're just kind of workshopping the process of like what he looks like throughout all stages. So the sword is sheathed when he's noble, consumed. It's like coming out in his defense, but it's useless. And then as he is consumed in flame, his sword becomes wreathed in flame. Cool. He could be doing an evil thing with his other arm. He's allowed. We got Abe. Hello, lots of people here. Yeah, welcome, Abe. Jay says, dude, I need to get back into the habit of doing more sketches. I'm trying to remind myself to do them, but it's hard to think about doing other stuff when you've got stuff pending. That's true, man. That's very true. I feel like in our industry, the best currency is ideas, dude. And for me, the best way to train ideas is to sketch. So I try and keep it like no excuses. Always make sure you're sketching. But yeah, no, it is hard, man. It is hard. For me, I have a bit of a freelance dip, so I'm able to stream a lot more than I think I would normally be able to. But yeah, I love that the focus that we're doing here with this guy is really making sure we're utilizing the props. Like, we're really utilizing these props for storytelling and for other stuff. So it's like the sword here is an absolute focal point of the character's design immediately. And then for the corruption stage, the sword is present as a narrative element, right? But then we're using the fire and the magma absolute front and center, like 2 elements, right? And 3, we're back using the sword again, but the sword is different. It's totally consumed by fire. So it's like a whole other energy. So it's like fire guy, sword guy with like steam rising out of his face and whatnot. So, all right, we've kind of got these down pretty much. So what I'm going to do is actually, pause on the little ref on the bottom for a minute. And I'm actually going to try and just drop in maybe some values on these guys. See how we feel. See how we feel. Abe says, are you doing a new concept design? So just to briefly recap, because I recapped like 4 times already. I'm revisiting this old design that I workshopped for a competition. There's a lot of world building stuff I did for the whole world, but I won't repeat that again. But yeah, this guy, the idea is he's like a sword master that sought power to defend the kingdom, but the power consumed him, and he became the very thing that he swore to protect the kingdom from. Classic. Very Anakin Skywalker. So, yeah, we're kind of like exploring, working on this on white might be good, actually. Or not white, but maybe not this much of a gray. Or no, maybe it'd be good to do this much of a gray, actually. Could even be good to do darker, potentially. So then we would set the lines to multiply so they read. If we want the lines to read. We'll eventually turn the lines down and stuff, but let's try this. Let's try. I'm just going to do hard round for coloring this stuff. Colin's in the chat. We love Colin. Colin says, "Hey, gorgeous. Buddy, you must be looking in a mirror." Cool. So we're going to use a base of a very royal blue for these guys, I think. We'll always return back and make edits and whatnot. But I feel like it's a good place to start, like a nice color to do, a little underpainting. A nice little underpainting, yes, for our character design. Who's this guy voiced by? If this is a feature. I feel like he'd be voiced by Christian Bale. I would want him to be voiced by Christian Bale. That'd be sick. Does anybody know Christian Bale's agent? We should hit him up, you never know. Never say never. So. I remember this guy. Voiced by Timothy Chalamet. Hell no, dude. Hell no. I mean, Timothy Chalamet is a great actor. It's kind of frustrating, like, though, when an actor comes along and it's just like they're literally just like, you don't get a break from them at all. They're just in everything. Like, it's easy to get sick of somebody. Okay, so for the base for these guys, I'm not going to use blue. I'm actually going to use red. But I will incorporate blue. Jay says, I can imagine Christopher Lee playing this character. Oh, hell yeah. Let's go. Danny DeVito. Danny DeVito. We want to be very gestural with this part. We don't actually have to have it match what we have on the thing. Just need to have energy. Abe says, I wonder what an evil character voiced by The Rock would sound like. Oh my gosh. I've never been able to smell what the rock is cooking. I don't know about you guys. Alrighty. Let's see what we got going on. Man, are any of you guys doing Barbenheimer? Even your lasso usage is clean. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Lasso's good. Lasso's a good one to master if you can. Man, unfortunately, I think Barbenheimer's tomorrow, which unfortunately I can't make because I'm busy and my girlfriend's busy. But we're planning on doing Barbenheimer like later. Like we're gonna double feature it like next week or something. I don't know. Maybe. It's so funny though, Barbenheimer. I can't believe that blew up. It's awesome. Epic. I call it Oppie, but whatever. That's okay. You're allowed. Definitely eventually do it. I just have an urgent thing I have to work on for the next few weeks. Fair, man. Fair. Digging these silhouettes, says Colin. Dude, thanks, man. Me too, actually. I'm having a lot of fun. Ash says, I'm doing that the week after opening. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are doing it a little later, which is, fair. Not everybody has every week free. Okay, so one thing about these drawings is they're a little off scale to the ones we have on the left. So I'm going to just make them a little bit smaller. Just a little bit. Really, it's the head size too. A little bit smaller. And a little bit smaller. Boom. That feels better. Feels more in unity with what we have in other places. So let's wrap up some of this lasso stuff going on. Beep boop bop a doop bop and be ball. Cool. Doing the kind of oozy spilling vibe from the sword. Definitely make it feel better in the final for sure. Ayub says, it's too bad you always live when I go to the gym, but I'll make sure to watch the replay. Sick. Yo, see you, man. Goop sword. True. Andrew Sung asked question. How are you able to change from straight lasso tool, curved to lasso tool while color thumbnailing? Okay, great. So technical question. That's fine. I kind of forget, man, that like learning software is hard. Like when you've really learned a software, you kind of take it for granted. But A lot of times you don't know. Okay, so basically lasso tool, right, is not lasso tool. I mean, it's not polygonal lasso tool, and if you take your pen off, it goes away pretty much. Like you can't continue. If you hold, for me, it's Option. For you, it's probably Alt on PC. But if you hold that key and you remove your pen from the screen, you can see it turns into polygonal lasso tool. And now you can tap and you get polygonal. And then you release that when you want it to select. And then to cut away, you like while you have the little guy, you can hit Alt again and it goes into cut mode. You can cut it away, which is nice. We love it. Oh, cool. So let's see. Jay says, I'm going to drop to focus on work. I'll see you around. Dude, good to see you, Jay. Thanks for dropping by. And homie, I appreciate that, man. Looking forward to making more of this stuff. So let's go. All right, so even in the shapes, I'm seeing where this could be stronger. So we're going to change the shape of like the fist to instead kind of close in more towards the character. Maybe he's kind of a fire mage too. Like he controls fire with his hands a little bit. So maybe it's like the sword is dripping down and like the flame is going up, right? That would be a nice little parallel. Yeah, I like that. So the magma sword and the flame that he can shoot from his hands or something. I don't know. I watched the new episode of Bleach the other night, so flames coming out of fingers is a thing I'm thinking about. And the last one we'll do. This one's also feeling a little bit odd once you drop the silhouette in. That's why Lasso's great. Lasso allows you to really check the energy. Make sure your pose really is what you want. Cool. We got HG. Oh, that's cool. Does anybody know if that lasso tool thing works in Clip Studio too? I would assume it does. There's usually a lot of parallel, but I don't actually know. I don't actually know, dude. I don't actually know. But hey, you never know. Part 2 drops Saturday. Yeah, part 2, man. Ooh, I want more. Well, the first couple episodes of or did they save the dropped last? Yeah, part 2 dropped last Saturday. Yeah, exactly. So like, yeah. So I saw those 2 episodes. And oh man, they're pretty hype. I want more though. I really want to watch more. So the energy of this one is actually not feeling very good. So what I'm going to do is copy the line art layer, and I'm going to actually, from the one I'm working on, I'm actually just going to remove some material. See if I can work it out. do some digging. Yeah, man, figure out the Clip Studio hotkeys. Faux show, brother. All right, we'll have to fix this pose later because it's jank as heck. That's fine. Because again, we're just doing super rough blocking. We'll fix all these later because pretty sure we'll probably clean these up most likely. Something usable and cool. So now what we're gonna do is take our navy color. Don't want to make it too saturated. Yeah, pretty desaturated. We're going to opacity lock to duplicate it so we have the backup. Cool. Yeah, lasso tool is awesome. I love lasso tool. Cool. All right. Get a little focus. Sorry for not talking as much. Boom, baby. Yeah, something like this, right? Sick. Yeah, it has a completely different implication on this character. All right, for the under, we want it to be like pretty darn close to like a black color, most likely. Alrighty. Oof. Yeah, streaming for 2 hours really takes it out of you. All right, I'll lift the opacity lock here so I can include some nice bold shadow shape to ground this side of the sheet. Make sure everything's consistent. Feels good. Cool. Relock that. Wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Alrighty. With this extra dark color, definitely want to use it to be our framing here for this epic magma. Cool. Don't want to get too complex here. Yeah, we'll keep it pretty simple. Cool. Let's go back to our navy blue we were using. Okay, HG asks, how far are you planning to go with these concepts? You showed some of your more recent art on Instagram. Will you render these in a similar style? It's possible. For these ones, I might keep these like a little bit more simplified because the purpose is to show the difference, like 1, 2, 3 stages. But I might take a couple of these and draw them out in a cool way. Like this one that I'm doing right now seems like one I would love to fully illustrate or like really make special. And then maybe this one where he's got his finger in the air and he's like got his flame going on. That would be cool too. And then the other one I can think of is maybe just a classic drawing of him and his kind of noble. So maybe one of each. I might render one of each or finish one of each. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see how it feels. You know? See how it feels. Yeah, finishing stuff takes time, but I'll probably end up finishing some of these guys because this would be pretty powerful portfolio piece, I feel. It's very self-explanatory, and yeah, it's great. This would be great to put in front of an art director. Sick. This is really fun. I like this guy a lot. So possibly one of each stage. That sounds good. Yeah, one of each stage. Yeah, thanks for asking about that, HG. I actually didn't have a super strong plan, but for these, like, I definitely want to have enough that I could be confident showing an art director and they would like understand the project. Yeah, ultimately we'll see how much I'm able to do, but this would be a great one to focus on for a little Lightbox portfolio situation. I'm trying to see if maybe an LA studio would poach me to go out there. We'll see. That'd be cool. No one tell my clients. Yeah, the one on the far right is definitely the weakest of the bunch. So that's the one I'll revisit soon. Probably off stream when I'm like feeling more fresh, when I got fresh eyes. Not everything has to be perfect. Not everything has to be fixed immediately. You can give things time if you wish. I'll make this blade a little bit wider. So the only thing is we want to add some gold, right? Gold to the golden sword. To the golden sword. Okay, we want it to be a warmer gold. Yeah. HG says, no problem. We'll just see how other people approach their ideas. Dude, me too, man. Me too. Yeah, that's why I'm going to be doing some interviews on the channel too, I think. Definitely going to be making some interviews happen with some of my friends who are really incredible artists. Got a chance to pick their brain. Yeah, maybe we'll do like a cool night sky theme for like the scabbard, and like a night sky on like the dude. Like maybe he's like worships the moon or something cool. There's a cool possibility there to add some iconography. Some cool trim. This is all great stuff to show, like, oh, these are first ideas of this and that, and here he is here, and look at that there. Oh, looks like we got a... Oh, man. My girlfriend said purple and yellow / orange is elite. She's right. It is very Middle Eastern. We love Middle Eastern inspired textile and design. With the curved swords too. Let's go. Oh, Iris is back. Welcome back, Iris. Nice colors. Yeah, hell yeah. We love colors. Let's go. Yeah, these are very Gabriel core colors for sure. First of all, primaries. Can't go wrong with primaries, baby. Can't go wrong. For like a lawful good character, primaries just, they're working. Iris says, I'm sitting at a sushi restaurant, dropping in to peep the tasty arts. Ah, sick. Hell yeah. Let's go. So you won't really see the gold as much. You'd see it here as he's pulling his sword out, but that's sort of it for the sword. The sword would also be a similar shade, I feel, to like this. The scabbard, I mean. Based? Based indeed. Some could say too based. Cool. Didn't really like how it was hitting the floor, the cape. So we're curving it down a little bit. Or honestly, we could cut it off. It's a couple points too. We're allowed. Based primaries, based primates. Coincidence, Iris says. I think not. We love our based primate friends. Did you see the monkey guy designed, Iris? You did. You saw it before. You saw it before anyone else saw this project. Big monkey. Look at him go. He's so cute. Cool. HG says, it honestly reminds me a bit of Ryan Pallett's work, which is dope. Ryan is a good friend of mine. I love Ryan Pallett. His work is insanely good, and I love him, and he's a good guy. He's a really good guy. Yeah, Ryan's dope. We love Ryan. Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah, Ryan, man. Hmm. Yeah, definitely the weakest pose, one on the right. So we'll probably axe that one and do just a new one later. Something cooler than that. Something better. It's actually working with the energy of the character. But these middle ones, oh, that is like, that's powerful, man. That's good. I would show that to an art director for sure. For sure. All right, so he's not a blue guy. This is, you know, it's like a person of color. So let's like give him some skin tone. So he's not just a dude. He has a good flow. He blew abadi abadi. He blew. He is blue. Abadi dab abadi abadab dabada. I'm blue. Man, I've been in New York now for a while. I still haven't seen the Blue Man group since I moved here. Gotta go see these blue men jumping around. HG says, yeah, the designs in the middle are insanely dynamic. Let's go, dude. Hell yeah. He has the blue horse and the blue house and a blue window. He probably does have a blue house, to be honest. Let's be real here. All right, we're gonna use some light blue highlights on the skin. I learned this a while ago, but when you're doing highlights for characters who are like, you know, if they're like a person of color rather than like just like a white person or like, you know, of a fairer skin or something, like the reflected light, like you'll actually see more of the light source reflected. So if there's like a cool light on a person who's like a person of color, like you will have like a cool highlight on their skin shine. It's like so sick. Versus like white people, their skin just gets like illumined in a different way. Like it just, you know, gets like rosy or whatever. It's like different. So that's why it'll be good for all these like bright red lights, because you'll see like all these hard highlights and stuff, which is cool. Cool. All right, we're really getting somewhere now. Okay, I know how we can build the momentum on this guy. So we have the sweeping sword here. Let's save the swooshies so they're actually like burning off of the blade. Right? Something like that. All right, we'll suss that out for sure. For sure, for certain. All right, well we've blocked out some of this stuff. What happens if we go even darker on the background? What will we see? Yeah, baby. I love it, dude. We're looking for that bold silhouette. Bold. Bow. Well, honestly, I'm happy leaving this where it's at right now. I mean, we've got, what do we do? So we took our initial idea. It's important to take stock of what we've done. So we took our initial idea, right? This guy, which, we had our initial drawing of the fire burning out of his mouth. He's got his, illumined maw, white hot mouth of flame. He's got his sword, right? And his hand ripping out of his mouth, And we kind of took that and we're like, all right, let's show the stages of the character. So we went back and we looked at just that, the stages of the character. And I think these stages are sick, right? We've got like the kind of like noble good initial kind of like design. We see him like being corrupted by the fire. You know what I mean? The lighting change happens. Then he's totally consumed by fire. We can probably have some kind of middle point here where we see more of the blue coming through. So there is that dynamic of that war between blue and red. And then here the blue could be even more desaturated. So we can still push this if we want to. But I think the next step for this is to block these in with some cleaner lines and just have it be very clean. So that it's very readable, very dope. But yeah, the idea is that like this kind of thing you would have, just like at the bottom of a character design screen or something. Kind of shows like the narrative story. You could put that next to a whatever drawing or something. But honestly, this will probably just be a page on its own. It's a dope page. But yeah, guys, this has been an absolute pleasure working on this with everybody on stream. I'm probably going to leave it here. We went 40 minutes over time, but that's fine. I mean, I started late, so like 30 minutes over time. It's okay. But yeah, this was a lot of fun to work on. Like, wow, this was really cool. So yeah, we did a lot of drawing. I had a ton of fun. We reviewed some art too. We looked at some art from people, and we looked at some of my old work too, which was fun. And some more lore. We had all the best homies drop in. Let's go. And yeah, just sending everyone good vibes, man. Sending everybody good vibes. And I will see you all on the next stream. The next live. I'm going live. The next time I go live, which will be tomorrow. I'm going live tomorrow. Actually, so I'll probably be guest starring on another person's channel tomorrow. I'm not going to announce it just in case something comes up or whatever, but keep an eye out on my Instagram at around midday EST for, announcements and stuff for where I'm going to be streaming. It should be pretty cool. So yeah. Yeah. Much love, everybody. And, I'll catch you all in the next one. Oh, last thing. If you are watching this live, thank you. Hi. It's good to see you. Hope you're doing well. And thanks for making it to the end. If you stuck around and if you caught any of it, that's awesome. And if you're watching this back as a recording, sorry you missed the live, but that's totally fine. Like if you want to join next time, you can ask a question or just hang out or whatever. And thanks for making it to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. And you guys can turn on notifications or or anything like that. Yeah. So feel free to do any of those things, which will be great. We got a couple things. See ya. Looking forward to your live streams and your process. Thank you for answering questions. Thank you for the stream. It's been fun. Have a good thanks, guys. Okay. Well, that's a wholesome place to end it. All right, guys. Peace.